All the Saviors of Uldum cards have been revealed, and it's time to tier craft some decks. In this video, I'm going to take a look at Warlock. I'll take a look at the new Warlock cards, the existing Warlock archetypes, and the potential new Warlock archetypes in Saviors of Uldum. So let's get started. Warlock cards. We have the Warlock Quest Supreme Archaeology. Quest, draw 20 cards, reward Tome of Origination. And Tome of Origination is a hero power that draws cards for 2 mana that will then cost 0 and it doesn't deal damage to you. So you kind of would like to play this in some kind of a deck that would have like big minions in it. But draw 20 cards, that's a steep condition, because basically that requires you to play a Plot Twist Warlock. If you play any other sort, you will have like 5 cards left in the deck when you complete the quest. So yeah, that's not really going to work out. And Plot Twist, I found Plot Twist pretty unreliable in Rise of Shadows, and I just don't believe in that very much after all. And seeing the full set, there hasn't been anything that has come out that would make me believe in it. So yeah, you could try to build a Quest Plot Twist Warlock, but I don't think it's going to be any good. Then there's Sinister Deal, discover a Lackey 1 mana spell. I like it, good spell, good Lackey generator, that's cool. Then, probably the most interesting card that we're getting for Warlock, Plague of Flames. 1 mana spell, destroy all your minions, for each one destroy a random enemy minion. And this card is actually, I think this card will make Megatoon Warlock viable. I think so. I don't know which tier it will be, but viable at least. And you could argue that you could use this in some kind of Darkest Tower Warlock, so this is a card that really opens up some avenues for Warlock to play. Then there's the Expired Merchant, 2 mana 2/1 Battlecry, discard your highest cost card, death rattle, add 2 copies of it to your hand. Some kind of control Warlock that has a big card that's a win condition could use this, but so far I just haven't found the card to beat that win condition, so that's the problem. Instead, the main focus of the new set seems to be to support Zoo. There's Nefejet Treasure, 3 mana Yeti. Whenever this attacks, deal 3 damage to a hero. Okay, but you're playing an aggressive deck, so that might be fine, especially when you curve from that to this, the Deceased Vulture. 4 mana 3/5 beast. After a hero takes damage on your turn, summon a random 3-cost minion. Nefejet Treasure on the board. Next turn, Vulture on the board, Treasure attacks, Vulture summons a 3-drop. That's just great, but it's very Zoo. It's like nothing else but Zoo. Then there's the Evil Recruiter, Battlecry, destroy a friendly Lackey to summon a 5/5 demon. Again, this sort of Zoo-ish card. So Zoo is getting pretty decent support, but other Warlock archetypes are left a bit dry. Then we have Embalming, 4 mana, destroy a minion, shuffle 3 worthless imps into your deck. I think the downside is so severe that this one is not going to see any play. I don't think that's good at all. Dark Pharaoh Tekan is something that really needs testing. 5 mana 4/4, Battlecry, for the rest of the game your lackeys are 4/4s. So you have the ability to generate 2 lackeys with Sinister Deal, another 2 with the Cable Rats, then another 4 with the Evil Geniuses, so you can have up to 8 lackeys in a game if you put all the lackey generators in, and you're of course going to use some of them before you play the Dark Pharaoh. So is it going to be worth it, or should you just be running Sea Giant? Hard to say yet, but okay, that's worth testing. And then we have the Rift Cleaver, 6 mana 7/5 demon, Battlecry, destroy a minion, your hero takes damage equal to its health. You just don't have enough healing. Like, you could build a bit more higher curve, more mid-rangey deck with like Treasure, Vulture, Cleaver type of things, but you don't have the healing to support that, I'm afraid. So overall, the Warrior set is mediocre. There is some good support for Zoo, and then there is a little bit of a nod towards other archetypes, but only a little. Looking into the deck list, I have a couple of tier crafted lists for Warlock. I actually spent more time on Warlock than I have spent on any other class so far, because a YouTube member requested it. So remember to join up on YouTube and support the channel. Anyway, Zoolock. Zoolock in this expansion, There are some pretty sweet eggs. There's the treasure, there's the vulture. That seems like the main way to build Warlock right now. This is probably better than Magic Carpet, this is probably better than Mechs. That's just so big swings with the Recruiter, Treasure, Vulture. There's some things I'm a little bit uncertain about in this list, especially the Dark Pharaoh and the Spirit Bomb. I was considering whether I should just put in a pair of Sea Giants into this build. But I ended up with a list like this. Well, there are tens of Zoo tier crafts and they all look fairly much like this, because this Recruiter, Treasure, Vulture, that just directs you to this approach pretty much. With a few slots left over that you can tweak around. The deck I probably had most fun with in Rise of Shadows was Handlock. So I looked into, okay, can I upgrade Handlock for Saviors of Uldum? And Handlock is getting, well, it's getting basically one card, which is the Khartut Defender. 6 mana 3/4, Taunt Reborn, Death Rattle restore 3 health to your hero. Healing is just so incredibly important for these slower Warlock decks. I think these slow Warlock decks are willing to make the sacrifice of running Khartut Defender, even though its stats are not great for its mana cost. However, there is a significant downside in running Handlock, because if there are lots of Highlander decks around, then Zephyrus is guaranteed to give you Sacrificial Pact if you're ever up against Jaraxxus. So if you turn yourself into Jaraxxus and you face a Highlander deck and they haven't played that Zephyrus yet, then they just play that and Sacrificial Pact you to death. So that's a bit of a bummer. Which is why I think, at least in the first days when people are trying out all the Highlander stuff, Handlock probably isn't too playable. But we'll see, I'm going to give it a try at some point. Then I also built a third Warlock deck, and I'm pretty excited about this one actually, although it's a combo deck. Mechatoon Warlock. So you play Galvanizer when you have Mechatoon in your hand. Mechatoon will cost 9 mana, and then you can play Mechatoon and you can play Plague of Flames on the same turn. Deck empty, hand empty, you get to wipe the board. It's not quite Cataclysm, but I think Mechatoon Warlock is looking relatively promising actually. Really looking forward to trying this deck. I didn't get to theorycraft a full deck of this, but the Darkest Tower Warlock is getting some support. So you have stuff like Rough Arms Scheme, you have spells that summon tokens, and then you can Darkest Tower those tokens away, and you can get some big minions from your deck to replace them. That's the idea of the Darkest Tower Warlock. And now that you have Plague of Flames, you have multiple token generators anyway, so Plague of Flames can give you a little bit more removal, so that you're able to survive better to your Darkest Tower combo turn. I still think this deck is a bad idea, but it's something you might try out. So Warlock was pretty down and out during Rise of Shadows. Basically it was only Zoo. And now we're getting a new expansion, and the archetype that gets support the most is Zoo. So the developers really want you to play Zoo. So if you want to play Warlock, you should probably play Zoo. But I built a Handlock list. If there are not too many Highlanders around, you could try that. And the Mechatoon Warlock, I think Plague of Flames, perhaps unintendedly, might be able to save that archetype. So hopefully Warlock will have 2 playable decks in Saviors of Uldum. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.